Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of the most iconic characters in the Star Wars universe, which is saying something considering all of the iconic characters spawned from the George Lucas franchise. Especially with the launch of the Obi-Wan series on Disney+, Obi-Wan is more popular than ever. Of course, even the greatest heroes can't always live up to the standards they set for themselves. This makes Obi-Wan an even more relatable character, as none of us are perfect. From his appearances in the original trilogy to his role in the prequels and his aforementioned solo show, today we'll be going over the 8 times Obi-Wan couldn't live up to his role as one of the Jedi's greatest heroes. Stick to the end to find out the Jedi Knight's lowest points. Starting off our list at number 8 is Obi-Wan's first show-off with Darth Maul. The Jedi rule Obi-Wan broke in this climactic battle was revealed to fans in the 2015 Star Wars novel Dark Disciple. In the book, parts of the Jedi Code were explored, and the quote, in particular, applies to this situation. The book says that there is no emotion, there is peace when you are a Jedi. This shows that Jedi must be in control of themselves and not allow their emotions to control their actions. Obi-Wan broke this principle in the climactic scene in the first prequel film, The Phantom Menace. In this epic battle, Obi-Wan witnesses the film's antagonist, Darth Maul, brutally murder his master and mentor Qui-Gon Jinn. This leads Obi-Wan to forget the Jedi Code and attack Darth Maul with pure emotion. Because of this, Darth Maul can nearly defeat Kenobi in their battle. This is until Obi-Wan finds his footing again and begins to fight from a place of peace instead of emotional turmoil. Understanding the Jedi principles at play makes this scene even more effective when attempting to understand what's going through Obi-Wan's head.
You must leave. You'll draw too much attention.
But I have nowhere to go.
If you're going to steal my parts and then sell them back to me, could you at least clean them first? As a courtesy.
Coming in next at number 7 is Obi-Wan's first battle with Darth Vader. In the Star Wars activity book titled Ultimate Factivity Collection, the Jedi rule is revealed that Jedis must resist fear, or they may fall victim to the power that motivates the dark side. While Obi-Wan is showed to be unnervingly brave through his battles with General Grievous and Count Dooku, his spirit is tested when Anakin first confronts him in the form of Darth Vader. This takes place in the 3rd episode of the recent Obi-Wan Kenobi series. In the episode, Obi-Wan faces Vader in the harrowing setting of a mining pit in the middle of the night. Being the first time Obi-Wan has been forced to confront his former apprentice since their fateful battle in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan is quickly overcome by the fear of facing a seemingly unbeatable opponent. Obi-Wan succumbing to fear results in him facing defeat, which signals his lowest point in the entire series. This showcases the turning point on his journey in this series of losing his honor as a Jedi and slowly refinding it. His decisions until this point made him forget his Jedi training and fall into fear when faced with insurmountable odds.
Say this for me.
I will do what I must.
Coming up next at number 6 is his enslavement on Zagaria. This moment occurs in the beloved animated series created by Dave Filoni entitled Star Wars: The Clone Wars. This film tells the story of what takes place between episodes 2 and 3, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. This, of course, means the show centered around the adventures of Anakin and Obi-Wan during this period. In one of the most celebrated arcs in the series, Obi-Wan ends up as an enslaved person on Zagaria. This arc would show how even a hero as brave as Obi-Wan can be broken under such dehumanizing conditions. It's terrific storytelling and shows Obi-Wan at one of his weakest points across the franchise. Seeing the usually brave warrior flinch at a whip's motion is heartbreaking. This incredibly effective set of episodes showed that Obi-Wan pushed well beyond his breaking point.
What about the Senate?
We cannot let this become public. If Leia is discovered...
I can't leave here, Bail.
Next, in number 5, is how Obi-Wan taunted General Grievous in the Clone Wars. The battle between Kenobi and General Grievous in Revenge of the Sith is one of the highlights of the entire prequel trilogy. The two had several other duels that were equally enjoyable to watch throughout the Clone Wars. These also saw Obi-Wan violate some rules by taunting his formidable opponent. It's one of the few times in the entire series that Obi-Wan acts in such a cocky manner, which makes for hilarious results. The writers were clearly exploring how Anakin's brash nature was rubbing off on his mentor. Kenobi's quips used to enrage Grievous make for some of the series' most beloved moments, even if they show Kenobi breaking his code when dealing with serious threats.
I think you should sleep.
Ro confounded before we got out. Well, I wasn't going to give you a blaster, Leia. You're 10 years old.
Up next at number 4 is Obi-Wan's undercover role as criminal Recco Hardeen. This moment takes place in the 4th season of the Clone Wars, specifically in the 15th episode of the season, titled Deception. This plotline follows Obi-Wan going undercover as Recco Hardeen to thwart a plot to attack a ceremony on Naboo. This involves Obi-Wan faking his death to hide the plan from Anakin, who he fears will ruin it. This major lie being told to his apprentice is unlike Obi-Wan and goes against his regular code of openness and honesty. Of course, this may be one of the most pivotal rule-breaking moments in Obi-Wan's life, as it signals a moment in his relationship with Anakin where their trust is permanently damaged. With this potentially being one of the first events that eventually led Anakin to become Vader, it's unclear if Obi-Wan's secrecy was ultimately worth it. Coming in at number 3 is Obi-Wan's decision to let Anakin live. One of the most brilliant action sequences in any Star Wars film comes at the climax of Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan confronts Anakin in a futile attempt to stop him from joining the Sith. The battle culminates with Obi-Wan slicing off his protege's legs, walking off to save Queen Padme, and leaving Anakin behind him, screaming in rage and agony. Obi-Wan's inability to deliver the final blow to his former apprentice violates the Jedi code that one should never let a Sith Lord live. Obi-Wan allowing Anakin to suffer from his injuries is also an undeniably cold move and shows weakness in him by not putting his former friend out of his misery. In many ways, Obi-Wan killing Anakin here would have been a show of kindness and mercy, as it would have put him out of his suffering and stopped him from becoming the monster he inevitably did. This moment of weakness would, of course, ripple out for the remainder of the Star Wars franchise, as Obi-Wan not killing Anakin when he had the chance led to the birth of the arch-villain Darth Vader. Next, at number 2, is Obi-Wan's decision to save Satine. This occurs in Season 2 of the Clone Wars and centers around Obi-Wan's former romantic partner Satine Kryze, the Duchess of Mandalore. In this plotline, Darth Maul attempts to exact revenge against Obi-Wan by kidnapping Satine and baiting Obi-Wan into attempting to rescue her. Obi-Wan breaks the Jedi code by succumbing to love and compassion instead of being guided by reason. As explained by Anakin in Attack of the Clones, Jedis are forbidden from using these values as motivation in their lives. Kenobi breaks this Jedi rule by using his love for Satine to motivate his actions and allows himself to be put in mortal danger in the process. This ultimately ends in Darth Maul killing Satine, making Obi-Wan's code-breaking efforts meaningless. Finally, at the top spot on our list is when Obi-Wan left Luke to save Leia. This moment kicks off Obi-Wan's journey in the recent Disney Plus series. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan promises Yoda that he will watch over Luke Skywalker and keep him safe. However, in the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the titular hero hears that Princess Leia has been kidnapped. This leads him to abandon his post as Luke's guardian and goes off to save the young princess. This, of course, breaks the promise Obi-Wan made to Yoda to protect Luke from the Empire. Although Luke and Leia are equally important, Obi-Wan's duty is to protect the former and not the latter. This ultimately puts Luke in mortal danger and shows that Obi-Wan made a foolish mistake in breaking his promise to Yoda. This would ultimately lead to Luke nearly coming to an early demise in the series' final episode, but luckily for Obi-Wan and the galaxy as a whole, he would survive in the end. Have you been keeping up with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? What's Obi-Wan's biggest mistake across his many appearances in the Star Wars universe? Do you agree with our list? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as well. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.